Good morning, and welcome. Good morning. Yeah, we can do applause. I like it. Thank you. Good morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Good morning. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Welcome to the 11th annual Women-Owned Business Day, hosted by the Women's Business Development Council. This year marks 11 years of connecting in the Capitol. We welcome all of you who have traveled from more than 89, maybe 90 now, different cities and towns from all across the state. Yeah, welcome to all of you. Thank you for being here. I'm Gilda Bonanno, WBDC client and entrepreneur, and I'm excited to be your MC this morning. Today, we celebrate entrepreneurial women, our accomplishments, and our economic impact on the state, our country, and the world. You're going to meet some of our fantastic clients today who have grown their businesses with help from WBDC, and you'll hear from elected and state officials on the challenges and opportunities facing women-owned businesses. We're so grateful for the generous support of our champion sponsor today, the Cigna Group. We appreciate Cigna's commitment to WBDC and women-owned businesses, and we're grateful for their consistent and generous support. You'll hear from them later on in the program. I'd also like to recognize Citizens Bank as friend sponsor this morning. We thank them for their support and look forward to our developing partnership. Today we have a very special treat for you. For the first time at Women-Owned Business Day, we are hosting the Accelerate Grant Pitch event, where 7 remarkable business owners who are seated there will pitch their businesses to a panel of judges for the opportunity to be awarded a $25,000 grant. The Accelerate Grant Program's founding funder is Libertas, and you will hear from them later in the program. And we'd also love to hear from you on social media. If you're engaging on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, or Instagram, I invite you to post using the hashtags WOBD25 and CTWBDC. So WOBD25 and CTWBDC. And now it is my honor to welcome the Honorable Susan Bysowitz, Lieutenant Governor, a longtime supporter of WBDC.
All righty. All right, well, good morning, fabulous, smart, competent, powerful, successful women. And several gentlemen of taste and discernment, including the very fabulous president of the state senate, where I have the opportunity to preside, Senator Martin Looney. Give him a round of applause. So here we are at the 11th annual Women-Owned Business Day, and we are at an over capacity. I saw some fire marshals downstairs who are visiting to lobby, but no problem, we're in good hands. But it speaks to the way the WBDC and their clients have grown and succeeded and thrived, and they've done that so well, men want to be their clients too, right? It's a good thing. So this event is not only an educational forum for all of you, but it is a powerful testament to the strength and the resilience and the ingenuity of women entrepreneurs across our state. And I am going to take a selfie with all of you before I go, because as I look at this group of women, I see women from every corner of the state, from every walk of life. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Connecticut. Which, by the way, you should know that Wallet Hub a week ago said Connecticut is the number 2 state for women and families in the entire country. And I hope to be able to report to you next year when we do this that we're at number 1, because you all are making it happen, right? And look, your impact can't be overstated. When women thrive in business, our families thrive, our community thrives, our state thrives, and our country thrives, and other states and the federal government ought to be looking at the success of the WBDC in our state, because we have one of the best women business organization in the country. So each of you has your own story. You started with an idea, and you decided to make that idea into a reality. You have the business plan, you had the people who believed in you and who helped you along the way. I love entrepreneurism. I'm a business lawyer in the private sector. That's what I did before I was in public service. And politics and business have a lot in common, because you start with nothing and you make something out of it. And that's what all of you have done. You have made a profession. You have made a successful business. You employ people. Look, each of your stories is unique, but what is the same about all your stories is the determination, the courage, the vision, the persistence that you had, and how at every step of the way you had to overcome the barriers and defy all the odds, because a lot of businesses start, but not a lot of them continue and thrive. And that's what you have done. And Governor Lamont and I want to say thank you for the jobs that you have created, the jobs that you have retained, the economic growth that you have contributed to, and the community service that you have given. Because here's the powerful thing about women-owned businesses. For every dollar that you make, 66% of that dollar, 66 cents of that dollar is spent right in your community, hiring people, contributing to charities and nonprofits, buying goods and services to support your businesses. That's why what you do is absolutely incredible. And there is no better champion for women-owned businesses than Fran Pastore, who's been leading this organization for the past couple of decades. And Fran is the consummate entrepreneur. Talk about starting with nothing. Didn't you have a little office in the government center in Stamford, right? No staff, just her. And she just had this idea that Connecticut should have an organization to support women-owned businesses. And it has not been an easy year for the WBDC. Literally, the office burned down. But nonetheless, we're all here. We're stronger for that. And we're not going to let that setback define us. And so the WBDC emphasizes and highlights the resilience that all of you have shown. It's just absolutely incredible. And I just want to take a minute to share how much they've done, despite the fire, despite the challenges with federal funding. They served 3,587 clients, and that was up 332% from pre-pandemic levels, right? So they didn't just limp along, they thrived. And this is what I also love about the WBDC. They're not just about a couple of communities, they're about all communities, and they're about equity, opportunity, and I'll say it because I can, diversity, equity, and inclusion, because the governor and I believe in that. And here's why I say this. First of all, read the room. It's right here, right? But 39% of the business owners that they helped live in a distressed municipality. That is a vulnerable community designation. And 81% of the early childhood clients operate in an underserved child care community. So that is critical because we're helping people to go to work, right? The parents who have a safe, affordable, high-quality place for their child to thrive, that helps us put people back to work. And the WBDC reached clients in 93% of our municipalities. And they helped retain or create 13,384 jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the power of the WBDC, and each of you are the agents of that power. Each of you are role models in your community. You are showing our young people what women can do. They can start their own business, they can grow a business, they can employ people, and they can lead. And we are at a time when we need more smart, competent women leaders at every level. Now, speaking of women leaders, because the support that the WBDC gets from our legislators come from some fabulous women, and I see them, like Ann Hughes. And if you're a legislator, can you stand up or raise your hand? Come on, because I see you. Wave, ladies. All right, well, listen, I am so inspired by you because you truly represent the very best of Connecticut. The governor and I are so very proud to represent you every day at our beautiful state capitol. I hope you have a really productive day, and I hope you're going to join me. Stay right where you are, and we're going to do a picture. All right. Okay, legislators, come with me. Come on.
Okay. Following the lieutenant governor. All right, here we go. No one's arguing with the lieutenant governor, so. No, not at all. You keep going, Lieutenant Governor. It's fine. Absolutely fine. You do you. We always need male allies. Male allies always welcome. It's got to be a nice wide-angle shot. We got a lot of people. We're standing room only. Look at this.
Awesome. Couple more.
So thank you so much to the Lieutenant Governor. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see what the hashtags we put for that. Amazing women, Women Lead, Women Rising. I've got a lot of great hashtags for that. Wonderful. Thank you so much to the Lieutenant Governor. And now speaking of amazing women, yes, she deserves a round of applause. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right here. And speaking of amazing women, it is now my pleasure to introduce the founder and CEO of WBDC, Fran Pastore. Right here. I got you covered.
Oh, awesome. Good morning, everybody. I don't know how I could really top the Lieutenant Governor, but I'm going to try. It's going to be hard. Thanks to all of you so much for showing up today. I'm really honored to be here for our 11th annual Women-Owned Business Day, and I'm really excited to share with you that we had over 440 registered guests. This year, our highest ever. We don't have 440 people in this room, thankfully, or we would be getting thrown out by the fire marshal. But thank you so much for joining us, and I'm really honored. Susan talked about, our Lieutenant Governor talked about the legislators that are in the room, but there are 150 legislators and other appointed officials who agreed to be part of our host committee, and that is such a testament. Okay, good.
I know who the one is. Who's the one who did it?
Oh, we'll tell you. Okay. So to those of you that are here today, thank you. Thank you so much. Your presence and support, especially during these very, very challenging times, means so much to us and to the entrepreneurs that we serve. Our state leadership has always played a pivotal role in WBDC's success, and today your support is more important than ever. We actually learned Friday night that almost every SBA-funded program in the country was wiped out, except for one. We were one of the programs. The Women's Business Center program was completely wiped out of the president's budget. So we are, like we teach our clients, and as the Lieutenant Governor said, we will continue to be resilient. Loss of funding. Loss of funding and fires are not going to keep us down. We have an incredible team. We have an incredible team at WBDC of nearly 40 dedicated, compassionate members of our staff that are here every day. We haven't missed a beat. That fire was actually exactly 2 months ago tomorrow, and we did not miss a beat thanks to our amazing infrastructure with our fabulous operations team that kept us going in a cloud-based system. And the outpourings of support from the community was really inspiring to me and our entire team. So our work continues. For nearly 3 decades, we've helped women turn challenges into opportunities, and now we're going to do the same. To my team, thank you for your unrelenting commitment and support to our work. And to our fabulous board members, some of whom are here today, thank you so much for your continued support. We rely on you, we trust you, and we appreciate you so much. The future is bright. And we're proud to help light the way in this incredible state that supports women at every stage of business development. Thank you again for being here. I really hope you enjoy the pitch competition. I'm so excited that we're able to do this and so grateful for Libertas for identifying a need and allowing WBDC to see that need through. Each one of these amazing entrepreneurs is a symbol of the strength, the innovation of Connecticut and of the women in our state. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Fran. And it is now my pleasure to introduce the honorary co-chairs of today's event. The Honorable Patricia Billy Miller, State Senator and Deputy President Pro Tem, and the Honorable Heather Summers, State Senator and Senior Deputy Republican Leader. We thank them so much for their support of WBDC's work. You're going to first hear from Senator Miller and then from Senator Summers. Senator Miller.
Thank you and good morning. I know the Lieutenant Governor had mentioned the men in the room, but I want you to actually stand up because as long as I've been coming here, I've never seen so many men attend. So we would like you to stand up, men. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your support. Because there was a time that men didn't support women, so we thank you. And I guess there's an overarching theme in our speeches, because as the lieutenant governor was speaking, I said, oh, that's my speech. So, on behalf of the Connecticut General Assembly, and as part of the co-chair, the host committee, I want to welcome you. I am thrilled to welcome you to Women-Owned Business Day. 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 This is our day. This is our day. So I just want to say welcome. Welcome. I have never seen this room filled at the capacity that is filled today. And I heard that there's an overflow room. An overflow room. And that's due to Fran and the board. You have a group of women, individuals that care about women of the state. And I can't forget your team, Fran, because they keep me on task. But they care about the women of the state, empowering women of the state, and care about the economy of the state. And some of you have been here before, and I'm going to tell this story. When Fran approached me, what was it, 2010? Fran approached me 2010, and she says, Pat, because our kids grew up together. They've known each other since they were 4. They went to preschool. So she says, Pat, we need our own line item. And she said she had a vision. I didn't know much about her organization, but I knew that this was a woman who was very tenacious, who cared about the development of women businesses. And so with my leadership, we were able to secure $500,000 for 2 years, which ended up being $1 million. And the state has supported her. And we've had our bumps in the road, but we always found a way to get over those bumps. And I want to thank the state. I want to thank my colleagues for their support, because I couldn't do it by myself. Senator Summers can't do it alone. We need our colleagues to believe as well. And that's what's happened. Our colleagues believe the theme, the mission behind WBDC. And so I want to give my colleagues a shout out and say thank you. Thank you for believing the vision. When Fran first started, I think it was only Stanford. And her vision was to spread it out, spread the organization out throughout the state. And she's done that. When COVID hit and we needed to get money out to the state, to daycare centers, Fran, WBDC was there. You had the infrastructure. You talked about that. You had the infrastructure. And speaking of which, I saw Commissioner Bai here. She was a senator. Thank you. Thank you for believing in WBDC. We appreciate that, because you help the women-owned businesses in this state. So thank you for your belief. And so I just want to say to you, we heard vision. We heard empowerment. None of this can be done without your vision, without WBDC empowering you. And so, and I've said this over and over again, it's not about you. You can't take what you've learned and keep it to yourself. You have to spread the good news. You have to spread it to those that are behind you, those that want to do the same thing that you've done. Show them what to do. We talked about community. We have to be a community, more so now than ever. More so now than ever. We only have each other. We only have each other. So we're going to have to galvanize. We're going to have to be together. We're going to have to mobilize to make sure that WBDC stays alive. That they stay alive. Because you heard, Fran, federal government, They're taking her funding. The state government is supporting her. So thank you, Fran. Thank you. And to Governor Lamont and Susan Bysiewicz, Lieutenant Susan Bysiewicz, thank you for your support, and especially the lieutenant. She is so supportive of women. She believes in the empowerment of women. So again, I want to thank you all for being here, and I have one more thing to say. One of my concerns when Fran and I started this work, in the middle of this work, I said, Fran, there's not enough people that look like me in your organization. And so we have to change that. Fran, thank you. Look at this room, you changed it. There is a diversity. WBDC is now representative of what Connecticut looks like. And so as mothers and fathers, we're creating generational wealth, ladies. That's what we're doing, and we owe that to WBDC. So thank you all for being here, and here's my speech that the Lieutenant Governor took. So thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It is truly an honor to be here with you today, and I want to extend a very warm welcome to you. I thought I was having a hot flash, but it's just really hot in here. On Women-Owned Business Day. Sorry, if you're my age, you know what that means, and it's funny, okay? So this event is a testament to the hard work, the resilience, and the innovative spirit of women entrepreneurs across our state, across socioeconomic barriers, across race. It doesn't matter. We all have that really amazing spirit to do something unique. And it's a reminder of how powerful we are when we all come together to uplift, to empower, and to inspire each other. And that's why today is so exciting. So I'm proud to serve with my wonderful colleague, Senator Miller, as the co-host for this event today, and I'm deeply committed to supporting the Women's Business Development Council and the incredible work they do. Thank you, Fran. Thank you to your team. None of these folks would be here without you and all the work that you've done. It's truly a testament to the state of Connecticut's investment in women. And you empower women at every single stage of your entrepreneurial journey. I call it a journey because it is a journey. It's ups and downs, there's peaks and valleys. You provide guidance, resources, and a network of support to help us grow and thrive as entrepreneurs. And their work is not just about building businesses, it's about building confidence, creating opportunities for future generations, and strengthening communities. I think that's really important. This isn't just an organization that gives out grants. That's what some people in the legislature think. And between Senator Miller and myself, we're going to change that mode of thinking. So as a woman myself who owned a small business, I owned a biotech business for 25 years in the state of Connecticut. In the overwhelmingly male-dominated field of healthcare technology, I understand firsthand what women face in the business world. I can remember going to get some outside equity investment and having the people in New York, Warburg Pincus, if anybody's here from there, sorry, say to me, "And what do you do, dear?" And I said, "Well, I'm actually the one who invented the product." And to their credit, they said, "Okay, what do we need the two fat guys for then?" So I thought that was kind of funny. I still remember that to this day. So I understand those barriers, and I understand access to capital is a big issue. It wasn't too long ago, believe it or not, that women couldn't even get their own mortgage. We had to have a male co-sponsor it or co-sign it. Co-sponsor, sorry, I'm in legislative mode here. And to me, that's crazy that you couldn't even get your own mortgage, let alone a business loan. So we've come pretty far from where we were not too long ago. But those challenges, I say them challenges. Challenges create opportunities. Those have never stopped me. They've never stopped me from pursuing my passion, no matter what it is. In fact, they fuel it, and I'm sure they fuel it for you. Just tell an entrepreneurial woman she can't do something, and watch her do it, and do it seamlessly and successfully. And that's why the WBDC is so important to me. It's been an instrumental resource to women business owners, helping navigate all those challenges, achieving goals, and showing courage, determination, and success. So women-owned businesses contribute immensely to our communities, our economy, from healthcare to hospitality, retail, to real estate, law, to the legislature. And only 30% of our legislature is women. I'm the only woman in my Senate. And we need to change that. When women are in leadership roles, they bring a unique and fresh perspective. Because we're multitasking, doing everything with our families, our pets, our older parents, etc. And those are the kind of ideas that we need in today's rapidly changing world. Women leading businesses create a ripple effect, inspiring others. We push boundaries across industries. And that's why today's events are so important. It's our chance to celebrate. We need to really celebrate these incredible accomplishments of all of you women in your businesses. But we need to celebrate not just today, but actually every day. And you need to talk to other women and mentor them and tell them they can do it. There's no bad ideas. We just need to take those ideas and figure out how to come up with a plan to get them and execute it to create a business. So by honoring your achievements here, we send powerful messages to women across our state and actually across other states that may be watching today. Success is possible for everyone, including every woman. And I think that's really, really important for people to hear. Women are just not participants in the economy. We are the drivers of it. And when women succeed, families succeed, husbands or boyfriends succeed too, if women succeed. Communities flourish and our state grows stronger. Every woman here today should know that your hard work matters, that you matter, and what you're doing matters. Your journey inspires others to look at what you've accomplished and say, you know what, I can do that too. And women who see other women succeeding helps break down barriers. It helps create opportunities, and it proves what I have always said, that leadership doesn't have to have a gender. Women can rise to the top in any industry, and that inspires the next generation to dream big, to take risks, and to build your own businesses. And let's remember that even though we've done a great job, our work does not end here, that we must continue to advocate for policies that support women, entrepreneurs, equal access to funding, affordable childcare, inclusive hiring practices, and mentorship programs that reach all backgrounds and all industries. These aren't just women's issues, they're economic issues that benefit all of us. And I'm so proud to be part of this wonderful celebration today. It's like we're having our own Shark Tank, by the way. You know, like when I heard that, I was like, it's Connecticut's Shark Tank. If you're listening in the media, we should like talk about that. That's really exciting. I wish I was a judge. I always wanted to be a judge on that show. Anyway, so thank you for supporting WBDC for their tireless work supporting women and owners across our state. And thank you all for your continued dedication, passion, and your vision for being here. I want to do a shout out. I have some people here from my district, the Rhodes Scholar, if you're still in here. They have the dogs. They do an amazing job there. They are over here. Yes, great, great organization. And you over there filming me, can you stand up? This woman is inspirational. Right there, yes, a former person who had been incarcerated, now with her wonderful, awesome business. Sorry, I didn't want to embarrass you, but I had to. So see her after if you want to lose weight and get cleansed. Amazing product, okay? So, again, I lost my place, but thank you all. You're the reason that we're here today, and you're the reason that we all have hope for tomorrow. So let's get together. Let's continue to inspire, support, and celebrate each other, not just today, but every day, like I said. Together, we're building a future for all women across Connecticut. And Fran has the tools and the platform and the confidence to help you lead. My best to all of you, and I hope you enjoy today. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Senator Miller and Senator Summers for their support. So as everyone has mentioned today, I want to acknowledge also the Honorary Host Committee, which consists of more than 151 at last count, although you might go hunt somebody down later, of Connecticut's constitutionals, elected officials, and commissioners for their support of women's entrepreneurship in Connecticut and their recognition of WBDC as the leader in entrepreneurial and financial training. This is our largest host committee ever. You saw their names listed in the program and on the posters outside the room when you came in. You also saw videos we were showing when you came in, and you can watch those on the event page of our website. So let's give the host committee a round of applause to thank them for their support of WBDC. And now I'd like to introduce a few of our elected officials who will offer brief remarks. Please welcome the Honorable Martin Looney, State Senator and Senate President Pro Tem.
Thank you so much, and welcome to everyone who is here today for the 11th year of the Women-Owned Business Day here at the state capitol. And it's important for you to be here every year, to be visible, to show what your energy and insight and courage and creativity have been accomplishing as entrepreneurs operating in the state of Connecticut, and promoting the knowledge and the understanding that women in many cases have insight, vision, and gifts that are really going to be critical to rising the level of the state's economy in years to come. We also know that resiliency is critically important because we know that many small businesses fail within the first couple of years, and I believe there are probably some here who are now successful, but who had one or two frustrating attempts to secure a thriving business that failed, but they learned a great deal from it and are now moved on to success in the second or third try. So I think that's important too, for people not to get discouraged, to realize that you have to have the courage of your convictions, that you have to have bravery, you have to realize that being told no is not a final answer, and to keep moving ahead and to keep being creative and to show by your energy and your resiliency and your smarts and your mastery that you can succeed. And it's a challenge because, as was said, there in some cases there are still some built-in biases against women and a lowering of expectations about what they can achieve. But when given a fair opportunity, we know that they can achieve wondrous things. And that is what's so critically important for our state. We are a state that thrives upon small businesses, and most of the people in this state are employed by small businesses. So we need that creativity, the quick response to changing markets, and all of the things that you have to do in being nimble in running a small business. We all know now that we're faced with greater uncertainty with this issue of tariffs and what might happen in international markets and what that might mean, and a threat for some. We also know that federal funding is being cut in many areas, and this is something we're grappling with in this year's budget. But I want to make sure that to commit to you that the Women's Business Development Council will have a place and will continue to have support at the state level, regardless of what happens at the federal level. And I'm also proud to say that although, as Senator Summers mentioned, she is I believe the only woman in her caucus, but there are 8 Democratic women in the Senate Democratic Caucus. So the overall average of women on the Democratic side is much higher than the average for the entire General Assembly. So that I think is important to note. We are certainly open to women candidacies, promote them, encourage them, and nurture them when they get here. So it's important, I think, to recognize that this now is becoming a significant tradition here. This gathering of now over 400 people, many co-sponsors, a recognition that in difficult economic times, businesses of all sizes have challenges, but relatively new businesses and smaller businesses have to ride the waves of changing impact in a more creative way than others. But we're with you, we support you, and we recognize the importance of your mission, and thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Senator Looney. And now please welcome the Honorable Bob Duff, State Senator and Senate Majority Leader.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today. And men can have hot flashes too, apparently, because it is hot in here. Ay, ay, ay. We had a little kerfuffle with the room the other day, and Fran and I spoke on Friday, and I said to her, I said, we'll try to fix getting the room for you, but she never mentioned the air conditioning, so I guess I did part of my job, but not the other part. But, it is hot in here. thanks to Senator Winfield and Representative Safstrom for changing judiciary to the other room. I appreciate it. That was the 11th hour problem we had, but we got it. Anyway, good morning again, everybody. All I can say is that I love living here in the state of Connecticut. Do you all too? I love being in the legislature here because we can do some great things. And I love the fact that in Connecticut, we love diversity. We love equity. And we love inclusion. Imagine that. That is DEI, which may be banned in some places in the country. I don't know. But not here in Connecticut, because we stand for what is right and what is just. And we try to make sure that we value everybody here in the state. So thank you. You can applaud for that. Once again, we always do welcome everybody here to our state capitol and love when people come up from across the state to visit us, because that does make a difference. And please know that you all here today make a big difference, because we need to hear from small businesses. We need to hear from entrepreneurs. We need to hear from folks who are impacted through our grants, through folks, our WBDC line item, through just people who need to inform us. And I tell people this is a citizen legislature. You have people who are lawyers, who are doctors, who are realtors, who are retired, who are nurses, who are labor leaders, others. And we know what we know, but we don't know what we don't know. And you all being here helps to educate us as to what we need to know. And we appreciate that very much. And we appreciate that so much because we know that WBDC has had some tough times recently. And we know that with the fire in Stamford, and especially, as Senator Looney said, with the problems with the federal government, and talking to Fran about all of our grants, all of your grants that have been cut or been put on ice, which is awful, we wanted to do something about that. Now, we still have a ways to go in our negotiations with the governor in the final budget, but I wanted to let you know, and I want to ask Senator Miller, Senator Looney, and Senator Marr also was part of this, but I wanted to make sure they were included because this was a team effort. But we talked about wanting to help our line item in the budget to support WBDC. So we've increased the line item from $850 in our appropriations budget, $850,000 to $1 million this year. And that is thanks to the support, again, of Senator Looney, our Senate President, Senator Miller, myself, and Senator Marr. And not to say that others don't support that, because they do. It passed through the Appropriations Committee. The Democrats supported that. But we have to make sure we negotiate that into the final budget. So when, I think I mentioned this last year, and I'm going to end here, is that how I started with DEI and how I'm talking about this grant today, that elections matter and that who you support matters, because there are consequences to those actions. And not everybody sees that all the time. And so I'm not telling you who to vote for or what your values are, but vote your values and make sure you vote, because those you all have power as business people, and you all have power as voters, and you need to make sure we're using that power to get the desired goals that we would like. So thank you, and again, welcome to our state capitol, and I hope you have a very, very awesome day and a cooler day than it is in here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Duff. How many of you, this is your first trip to the Legislative Office Building? Raise your hand. Look at that. Look at that. First trip. This is the people's house. This is our house. Your representatives, they work for us, and they want to hear from you. So thank you for being here. Welcome. Their offices are upstairs and down the hall and across the street, and they have staff there ready to put you on the mailing list and answer your questions and listen to your ideas and come visit your districts. So please use that. Tap into that. They are here because we put them here, right? We elected them. This is how this works. So this is the people's house. We belong here. Each of you belong here. I remember when I first emceed Women-Owned Business Day, it was my first time to the Legislative Office Building, and it kind of felt cool. When I walked in, I'm like, wow, This is great. This is like a movie set. And I realized, no, this is us. This is democracy in action. So thank you so much for being here. Or yes, let's give that a round of applause. Let's give democracy a round of applause. Yeah. Thank you. And I love the bipartisan support. If you look on that host committee, everybody's on that host committee. All parties are on that host committee. So take a look at that. And if your elected official is not on that host committee, give their office a call. It's like one or two of them. All right. Now to speak on behalf of our champion sponsor, please welcome Christine Cooney, Director of State Government Affairs from the Cigna Group.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you very much for inviting me here today to say a few quick words, I promise. First, I'd like to say thank you to Fran and the Women's Business Development Council and to all of the women-owned businesses and entrepreneurs here today. The Cigna Group is incredibly proud to sponsor the WBDC's annual Women-Owned Business Day at the legislature. As many of you probably know, the Cigna Group is a global health services company headquartered here in Bloomfield, Connecticut. We're very proud to call Connecticut our home and proud of our company's 230-year history of improving the health and vitality of those we serve. As a Cigna employee, I see the incredible work and innovation happening every day to better our communities, whether through community engagement and volunteerism, or the advancement of very specific healthcare solutions. And our commitment to improving health and vitality includes supporting all of you. We commend your commitment to those you serve and support through your businesses, families, and the broader community. We see the impact that you are having across the state, and I applaud all the important work being driven by women in Connecticut. It's truly inspiring. I had a chance to speak to some of you out in the hallway, and whether it was someone who's here with an idea for the first time and was kind of getting a sense of what was going on in this room, or someone who has a very successful business due to the support of the WBDC. At Cigna, we recognize the importance of supporting and connecting with women like you every day, which is why this sponsorship is so important to us. The Cigna Group's commitment to inclusion and cultivating an environment that supports and advances women as leaders is reflected in every area of our business. We see the challenges women face in business and in life. We support a workplace that improves our ability to innovate and create solutions that resonate with employees, customers, partners, and the communities we serve. We recognize all of you and support your mission to do the same. To steal a line from the Lieutenant Governor, we believe in you. I'm proud to be a Cigna employee, and I'm so happy to be here with all of you today. I really love my job in state government affairs for Cigna, but I have to be honest with you, I was really excited, both going to bed tonight and getting up this morning to be here today. This is awesome, and we haven't even gotten to the best part yet, I feel like. I'm so excited. So thank you to all of you for all that you do each and every day and for allowing the Cigna Group to be part of this wonderful event.
Thank you, Christine, and thank you to Cigna for being our champion sponsor today. I'm Brenda Thickett, WBDC's Chief Operating Officer. I'm very excited that a key portion of our program today is our second WBDC Accelerate pitch. The Accelerate grant was created to fill a gap that we identified after seeing the impact of our Ignite grant program. Ignite grants of up to $10,000 are intended to fuel growth in businesses that have been operating at least 2 years and have revenue of under $2 million. We found that those small infusions of capital did exactly as they were intended. The majority of Ignite recipients saw a measurable impact as a direct result of the funding. But then what? In order to take the business to the next level, more funding is often needed, and hurdles for women entrepreneurs in accessing funding are still very much present. To fill that need, and with the support of Libertas Funding, our founding partner, we created the Accelerate Grant Program. Accelerate provides grants of $25,000 that can enable a business to take that next big leap. The Accelerate program is open to women-owned businesses that received a WBDC, Ignite, or municipal grant at least 12 months prior to applying. The business must demonstrate that the revenue growth as a direct impact of receiving the WBDC grant. Finalists are selected out of a pool of applicants and are given the opportunity to pitch their business to a panel of judges who determine which businesses receive funding. During our first pitch competition in October of last year, we awarded 4 businesses with grants. Today, we'll hear presentations from 7 finalists, and before we leave today, we'll announce the 4 businesses that will each receive a $25,000 grant in the second round of Accelerate. We could not have gotten this program off the ground had it not been for the vision and generosity of Libertas founder and executive chairman, Gary Katcher. I would also like to acknowledge Trish Havey from Libertas and WBDC board member, who has been a great partner. Speaking on behalf of Libertas today is their president, John Paradisi. I'm honored to introduce John now.
I'm going to adjust this one a little higher. All right, good morning, everyone. Tremendous amount of energy in the room here. So I must say that I'm a little concerned because I keep hearing everyone saying it's warm in here, but I'm not warm, so it worries me. And I need to check in on that afterwards. But this is my day 6.5 at Libertas, okay? So pretty new. I'm figuring out where everything is, who everyone is. I'm terrible with names. So I'm trying to remember everyone and repeating their name over and over, right? So until I get it. But part of my interview process when I was meeting with Gary, who, again, has been, running a tremendous company here for a number of years now, was some of the commitments that he and the company had made to the community in general across, different aspects. And this was one of them. And this was one of the reasons, in addition to others, that I thought this would be the type of company that I'd want to come and work for. And, I think, and then flash forward a few months later, I think a couple of days ago, he said to me, hey, how'd you like to spend the morning with, 200 or 300 really smart, resilient women? I was like, wow. I was like, Gary, first of all, I'm a married man. I said, number one. But tell me more. He's like, I remember that thing that we sponsor. I said, absolutely, absolutely. So he wanted me to be part of it and spend some time here and get the feel and the energy. I moved actually from Miami back up here. So kind of the inverse of what we saw in the last 5 years, right? I was a New Yorker for, pretty much most of my life, and then, moved down to Miami 5 years ago for what I thought at the time was a great opportunity, and it was. And then an equally great opportunity just came up with Libertas, so I joined the firm. But it's an honor to be here with all of you today. I'm kind of reflecting on a personal story a bit as I was thinking about the organization and learning about it a bit. I spent my childhood in Italy, where I grew up there for about 10 years, from 6 to 16. And while my dad was in the finance world, he was a banker, we started also a small business. And when we decided and it was a restaurant, Italian restaurant, of course. Right away, my dad was trying to figure out how to juggle that and how to make it work, but my mom put her hand up and said, I will run the business. And that was her first real entree into running a business. And, her dedication, her passion, she was the heart of that business. And while my dad wants to think it would have been equally successful under him, there was no way that would have happened, okay? And we always agree with him, but we all know that business was really 1,000% successful because of her. And from her, I learned those invaluable lessons that I think everyone in this room demonstrates and has every day in order to be able to push forward and push through the challenges that you see, which is hard work, determination, resilience. And her leadership showed me the importance of, empowering women to take charge in those kind of endeavors. So today, we honor the achievement of some remarkable women. We have a great panel here that is going to be competing next. So I'm looking forward to that. Truth be told, I ran a competition similar to this down in Miami with venture capital startups that were minority and women-led. And I got to interview as part of that panel Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, which was kind of cool. He was brutally honest with all the participants. So he didn't come out of character even when we weren't on TV. But women-owned businesses are super important. There's over 30 million businesses in the U.S. About 14 million of those are women-led businesses. And, that makes up about 40%. And they contribute to 12.2 million jobs, 2.9 trillion in revenue. That's pretty astonishing numbers, okay? And I think that 39% is remarkable, but it needs to keep moving up, right? Because I think a number that is closer to the 50 percentile, which kind of more mirrors the makeup of the population, is more in line where I think things should be headed. So with that said, let's continue to champion women's ambitions and advocate for their growth. And when one woman succeeds, she paves the way for many others. So in closing, thank you for allowing Libertas to support this organization. I think it's been terrific. It's in the second year, and I think Gary is extremely happy with with what's happened here, and Trish and everyone else that sits on the panel, like Gabby. And we look forward to continuing to help each other out and push forward. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Before we hear from our first finalist, I'd like to introduce our judges. Judges, please stand when I call your name. Tasha Jackson, WBDC Chief Financial and People Officer. Gabriella Rosado, Senior Underwriter at Libertas. And Rafia Zahir Udin, Vice President of Corporate Responsibility at JP Morgan Chase. I'd also like to introduce WBDC Business Advisor, Carol Cheswick, who will be facilitating the judges' Q&A at the end of each pitch presentation. And I would also like to ask you all to silence your phones if you haven't already, so that the pitches aren't interrupted. I want to share that we received 41 applications for this round of Accelerate grants, and we are hearing from just 7 finalists today. That should tell you that these women are already winners. Yes. It is an incredible accomplishment to be sitting here today. Of course, we wish we could provide grants to all of you, but unfortunately we can't. Judges, it's going to be a very hard decision, and I don't envy you at all. So let's go to the first finalist, Donna J. LaFata from A&D Equipment. Donna.
Good morning. I am so thankful to be here at Women Owned Business Day and to be a finalist for the Accelerate Grant. I am the owner and president of A&D Equipment, and we are experts at excavator attachments. First slide. Sorry. There we go. Start again. All right. I am the owner and president of A&D Equipment, and we are experts at excavator attachments. How is that, you ask? Because we have been owners of an excavator company for over 50 years. We started using specialty attachments in our business about 20 years ago, and it's been a natural progression for us to start to sell the same attachments we use on our job sites every day. So while my husband, Anthony, runs our excavating division, I oversee and run A&D Equipment. We are a team of 6 out of Guilford, doing about $2 million a year, on track to increase to $3 million for this year. A&D Equipment sells several different product lines of attachments. Our number one selling line is the Rotostar screening bucket. No one else sells this bucket in the United States. We have been using it and selling it for 15 years, and it makes up 50% of our revenue. Now, the conventional way to get dirt off a job site is to put it in a truck, take it off site somewhere, put it through a giant screening plant, and then bring it back in a truck to the job site. So why do we love this screening bucket? Because it offers a portable solution. You put it in the back of a pickup truck, and it goes from job to job doing all your screening. It saves time, it saves money, and it reduces carbon footprint. Now, how can a company in Connecticut expand its presence and share the word about this remarkable screening bucket? Well, the Rotostar Tour America, this is not going up. The Rotostar Tour America was born in 2022. I envision the Rotostar Tour America as a way to get these buckets out there across America into contractors' hands for free. These buckets have become my troupe of traveling salesmen. My only real cost is the bucket and shipping. We ship the bucket for free. We train the clients on the phone. We teach them how to use it. And then in return, we ask them to share it on their social media channels. They get to demo the bucket for 2 to 3 weeks on their job sites with their crews and in their soil conditions. It has been an amazingly successful investment. In 3 years, we have had 3 buckets travel to 20 states, making 44 stops, covering 47,000 miles. In that time, we have sold 14 buckets, which is about a 31% return. And we've added $280,000 in revenue to our company. 2 other benefits are happening with this tour. Number 1 is that we're building relationships. The 44 people that have been on tour with us are in our system and are touched by us on a regular basis. When it comes time to buy a screening bucket, who do you think they're going to think of? The competition? I don't think so. A&D Equipment. The second thing is we're getting free advertising, exposure, and helping build our brand, all while giving contractors something fun to talk about. It's creating a buzz in the industry. So far, we've had 3 of our smaller buckets on tour. There is a missed opportunity here for contractors with bigger excavators who want to try bigger buckets. So we have started a waiting list of 32 clients that would like to try our bigger buckets. So what comes next then? Rotostar Tour America 2.0. The Accelerate grant money we are requesting is to put 2 large Rotostar buckets on tour. The first year we have these buckets out there, we project they will make 13 stops, resulting in 4 sales, adding $129,000 in revenue. With your $25,000 investment, at the end of 3 years, we project we will have sold 12 buckets, adding $387,000 in revenue. We have a proven money-making program in place with 32 clients ready to go. Thank you. I'm not sure about this clicker, because I feel like
Super impressive, Donna. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's my opportunity now to ask each of the judges to ask one question. We have a total of 3 minutes for the question section, and we're going to alternate between the judges on who gets to go first, second, and third. So I am going to go to Tasha Jackson as the first questioner. Thank you, Tasha.
No problem. Thank you for that pitch. My first question is, you talked about one thing that separates you from other organizations is the bucket and how you distribute it. Mm-hmm. Tell me one other thing about your organization that makes you different than anyone else in the sector.
The number one thing that makes us different is that we use everything we sell. So we have experience and knowledge and 50 years behind us. The vice president of our company is my husband, who is an operator, and he's been an operator his whole life. So he and his team are constantly on jobs excavating using everything that we sell. So that is the number one thing that sets us apart. We know how to teach you how to use it. We're not just selling it to you. We're teaching you how to use it. And we're going to teach you how to make money with it. If you're not making money, you're not going to come back to me and buy more stuff. Thank you. You're welcome.
Gabby, it's your turn.
Thank you. Thank you, Donna, for the presentation. I guess there was something that we noticed on your application, right? And we were curious about it. So could you please provide more detail on the, I guess, significant projected increase in net profit from 2024 to 2025, from $60K to $500,000 for this year?
Well, we've hired a fractional CFO because you have to go out and get help, right? And he has sat down with us and our team, and we have made big goals, and we have streamlined, and we are being more efficient, and that is the goal. If you don't have a high goal, you're not gonna reach where you want to be. So the team knows we mean business this year, and last year was a little bit off, and they know that. So we've actually downsized a little bit by 1 or 2 employees, and we're getting after it because we're going to be streamlined. So it's the help of a CFO, a fractional CFO, and the dedication to margins and more marketing this year. That is our big goal.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you very much. Rafia.
So first of all, Donna, great presentation, and I commend you because it is never easy to be the first one up.
But now
so
I'm almost done.
Yeah. So I'm curious about the staffing structure for how you would foresee a Road to Star Tour 2.0. I think you mentioned at the beginning of your pitch you have 6 staff. What does this look like for clients that you're working with in Connecticut? And then the folks that are going to actually go on this tour and be like sales individuals pitching this product.
So in Connecticut, it's relatively easy because we can drive the bucket to that contractor, drop it off, train them in person, and off they go for 2 to 3 weeks. What does it look like when I'm putting it outside of Connecticut? There is an application. There is an interview with myself and or my husband, and then they have to provide a certificate of insurance and sign an agreement, as do the Connecticut people. Once that's all secured, we ship the bucket for free, and they use it, and then we pay to ship it back, or we ship it to the next person. So as far as how much staffing it takes, I feel like, was there a question about what it looks like? So myself and my admin, who's the admin for the whole business, run the program, and it's a lot of logistics and scheduling, but all we're doing is organizing shipping, making sure people are trained, the paperwork is in order, we build that relationship with them, touch back in, and then it goes to the next stop. So it will not be that much more work to add 2 buckets from a staffing perspective.
Thank you so much, Donna. So impressive. You're done.
All right.
Okay, our next applicant is Jenna Ridgey from Art Lighton. We're having some technical difficulties with the remote here. Just give us a moment. There we go. Okay, this should be working. Just come up. Do it manually. Yep.
Thank you. Good morning. Honored to be here. My name is Jenna Ridgey, and I am the owner and founder of Art Lighton. The name Art Lighton is derived from the power that art has to give someone greater knowledge and understanding about themselves. Art is my compass to express myself. It is my passion. It gives me meaning. It is my purpose. During my undergrad in fine art, I developed an interest in psychology, which led me to my graduate work in art therapy and counseling, where I discovered that the combination of art and psychology allows me to reach people in ways that traditional therapy just cannot. I began Art Lighton in 2018, and since then we have grown to 7 art therapists and 3 interns. Each office is outfitted with traditional furniture and also a designated area to do art making of all types. We also have a workshop room for larger events and currently have a mural artist from our local community painting in our waiting spaces. Art therapy is a form of psychotherapy. It uses creative processes such as drawing, painting, printmaking, sculpting, and other forms of visual art to help individuals express themselves. The biggest difference between art therapy and talk counseling is the ability to express oneself non-verbally. Art therapy offers a safe, empowering way to access the subconscious. It unlocks and releases deep emotional content. It reduces resistance to talk therapy. It enhances self-awareness and flow state. It restores mind-body balance by resetting the nervous system. Since inception, we have served 608 families. We currently serve around 300 ages 3 to 75, and our annual revenue just reached $500,000. Thank you. We serve low to middle-income individuals and families with trauma and other mental health challenges. Our services help generational healing, including those impacted by violence and incarceration. Art therapy is not just for children, folks. It helps adults access their inner child through creativity, making challenges more tangible and easier to process. The problem our community is currently facing, to my knowledge, we are the only art therapists in Litchfield County. You'll see us in gray. There are no art therapy practices in 3 out of our 8 counties, which is the entire right side of our state. This is approximately 535,000 people with transportation issues, which is no vehicle, vehicle troubles, a med cab not arriving, or those who cannot drive due to age or disability. Our office is too far for a good portion of the state. There's a lack of access to mental health programming, and a majority of art therapy practices are along the interstate. At large, inaccessibility. There are countless people who cannot access for one reason or another, and we are desperately needed during our current mental health crisis. There we go. With $25,000, we want to convert a bus into a mobile art therapy office. This can allow us to serve all counties in Connecticut, especially around the perimeter of our state, where services are scarce. In essence, we will be similar to a library on wheels, where we can bring our services to the entire state. We can break down the barrier between those who cannot get to our office, offer individual, family, group therapy, as well as professional clinical supervision and professional development to and with our colleagues. We can access schools, corporate settings, senior citizen centers, medical facilities, crisis, and more. This allows us to access our community in ways that we were not able to do before. To our knowledge, nobody else does this in the state. The impact of this bus will allow us to serve people outside of our geographical area, mobilize our office model, bring our services to underserved areas, access those with mobility issues, and since receiving $10,000 from the Equity Match Grant in 2022, we increased our revenue by 46% in 2.5 years. With $25,000, we expect to increase our revenue by 116% in 1 to 2 years. This number is based on projecting at least 1% of those in the right-hand corner of our state without services. That is 107 new families struggling with mental health. In addition, we project a moderate 30% growth rate by targeting community-based groups and events by using the mobile bus model. Thank you very much for your time, and we're excited to bring our services mobile.
Okay, I get chills listening to these people. I just want you to know that. I have the right job. Gabby, you get to be first.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I really love your idea about the bus and that the fact that you're looking to help others. So I guess you mentioned at the beginning of your presentation that you currently have 7 therapists.
Correct.
And 3 interns,
Yes.
right? With a bus, are you looking to hire more people?
Yes, we definitely have the ability to hire. We also have a waiting list, and a couple of our clinicians can take on the bus as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Rafia?
I feel like we all need art therapy. Can you talk a little bit about what your pricing model is? Who are I guess, organizations, individuals that essentially pay like a fee for service? And do you think, or is there a possibility that could be reimbursed by insurance in the future?
Yes, absolutely. Great question. Our pricing model really ranges. It depends on how we're getting paid. There's private pay, and then there's also insurance reimbursement. So really accessing, for those to access mental health care, our price model goes from $30 per session all the way up to $175. So it's really wide, and we do that so we could reach all different people of need.
Thank you, Tasha.
Yes. So you talk about this opportunity allowing you to get one bus. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now as far as the ability to have more buses or the actual impact?
Great question. I was wondering that myself, because I do believe so strongly in this model. Just having, again, being in such a small field of art therapy, we've been able to reach so many families in our small corner of the state. And I do think that within a year or two, we're going to see the demand for a bus, which we will have the capability to do with our revenue, and also have more clinicians to be able to support that. We do have a program in the state of Connecticut that does do art therapy for graduate, and so we do have constant graduates coming out of that program who intern with us. So it's like a little training program.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jenna.
Thank you.
So since we're having a little trouble with our clicker, panel presenters, what we're going to do is just say next slide, and then Meg will forward the slides automatically, so we don't have to worry about that. All right, go ahead, Karen.
Okay, I have Rachel. Is that right? Yes, Rachel Wagner, founder and CEO of Kinney Lane Foods.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me here. So,
We're just testing everybody here, see if anybody's paying attention. Sorry. This is a test. We made the room hot. We made it crowded. We're flipping the slides on you. It's not Shark Tank.
Would it be okay if I actually held it?
Sure.
I like.
Yes. If you've practiced with it, go for it. And just say next slide when you need it. Thanks.
I see what's happening here. Hi, guys. I'm Rachel Mahoney, and I'm founder of Kinney Lane Foods. Kinney Lane is an organic meal delivery service and emerging better for you brand. I started Kinney Lane out of my kitchen in Greenwich, Connecticut, pregnant, and grew into a $1 million brand. Before I started Kinney Lane, I was working in ad tech. I worked so hard that I didn't have time to cook, even as a classically trained chef. So I was eating prepared foods. I didn't like the ingredients that were in them, and quite frankly, it was making me sick. I knew if it was happening to me, it was happening to others. When we started Kinney Lane, we grew fast, and we gained traction very fast. And we've grown meaningfully year over year. In 2023, we opened a market in New Canaan, and the connection that gave us to the community was beyond what we could have imagined. Here we are in 2025, dreaming of what can be, and I can't wait to tell you about it. But first, I want to ask you a question. What is the most annoying text that you can get? For me, it's the "what's for dinner" text. You know if that text is coming after 3 p.m., there is no right answer. You're either going to be staring at leftovers in your refrigerator, or you're going to be ordering takeout. Our goal is to eliminate that text forever. We serve a modern consumer base. They're looking for 3 things. They're looking for convenience, they're looking for health, and of course, they're looking for good taste. That sounds simple, right? But there aren't a lot of companies doing all 3 things. Our customers want food freedom. They want food that's free chemicals, and they want food that frees up their time. The mom guilt, I see it every day, is ever present, and we're freeing up their mental load. The rise of the ready-to-eat market is exploding, and there's really no other way to describe that. In 2020, it was a $2.5 billion market. In 2025, it's projected to be a $15 billion market. There's an undeniable shift in consumer behavior, and we believe that we are on the forefront. Our numbers match the industry trends also. So we've grown 333% since 2021. We have 1,400 active customers, and our retention rate is 70%. And just for reference, the ready-to-eat meal delivery services, the industry average is about 20%. So you can see that we're taking the insights that we have for our clients, and we're turning into actions. So as we think about ways to grow, of course, we're thinking about things that have worked for us in the past. The most obvious being, of course, expanding delivery radius. We're in Fairfield County right now. We would love to be in Westchester and Hartford County, where I grew up. But we don't have the van, and they're expensive. You know, once we opened the market in New Canaan in 2023, we saw sales grow by 4 times. We quadrupled our sales because people want to know where their food is coming from. They want a connection to their food. So we would love to open up other key retail hubs and locations like Rye, New York, or West Hartford, where there's a lot of young families who need the prepared foods. And of course, our sauce development. We started bottling sauces in 2024. A lot of our clients want ready-to-eat meals, but they also want a hand in cooking. So our ready-to-eat sauces has been really valuable for them because they can still have a hand in cooking and not have to slave over this stove all day. So our goal is to have $50 million in the next 5 years, which sounds ambitious, but hear me out. You see all these companies out here, the legacy brands are not giving them what they need. It's the better for you brands that are really leading the charge. Kevin's, I love to use this example. In 2019, they were a $4 million brand, and today they're a $190 million brand, just 5 years later. So my ask for today is $25,000 to expand procure a van to expand our territory for delivery and self-distribute our sauces. With this $25,000, we would see a staggering 430% ROI. We truly believe that we could be to Southern Connecticut, what Chobani is to New York, upstate New York, and what Stonewall Kitchen is to Maine. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Great job, Rachel.
Thank you.
Okay, Rafia, it's your turn.
So Rachel, great presentation.
Thank you.
I have like 2 questions. I'm trying to figure out
Sure,
which one would be
sure.
the best one to ask. 50 million, 5 years, ambitious but probably doable. What are the real challenges that you perceive in remaining profitable? Because the industry you're in is very crowded, and people's tastes change all the time.
Of course. So what makes us different is that we have 7 years of like R&D behind our sauces. We know what works, and we know what people want because we have sales data to back it up. People, when they get home from work, they don't want to be challenged. They just want what they know. So the picatas, the chimichurris, things that are really easy for them to make is what they want. And so that's what we're giving them. And, you know, a lot of it's branding as well. So packaging, we're thinking about, you know, using pouches versus jars. It's easier to ship. The margins are much lower. Our margins are much higher with sauces than they actually are with delivery. So, you know, that's why we want to focus on them too for the profitability. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Wonderful. Tasha, your turn.
Thank you for the presentation. Wondering about a family that utilizes you currently. Approximately how many times a week do they utilize you or your services, and what does that run them for cost?
So our average basket size is about $165 per week. So we deliver on Mondays and Wednesdays. They have the order the week before by Friday. So we deliver twice a week. Most of our clients are still getting deliveries 2 times a week, about 70%. And it's about $165 to like really fill their fridge with meals. We have breakfast, dinner, and lunch options. So they're just filling their refrigerators. It's actually, if you do the math, most of the times less expensive than going to Whole Foods. And then you don't have to cook, which is the whole point.
Okay, Gabby.
So 70% return customers, I think that's a really good number, so congratulations to that. In terms of the van that you're looking to purchase, right? How many vans do you currently have, and how many more customers are you going to be able to reach with this?
Well, we have 0 vans. We're having delivery drivers come, like 6 or 7 at a time, and because we don't have the van, and deliver the food so that it's not in the, you know, so it's temperature controlled, it's not in the car for too long. So we could, I mean, truly with logistics and having another van or refrigerator van, we could expand to, I mean, it's almost, you know, the possibilities are almost endless. So we know, like based on our math, it's about in the first year we can pull in an additional $350,000 just with the van alone. So the ROI is really high. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Okay, next up is Dr. Barbara. Oh, it's Kiara? Okay. No, it's Dr. Barbara Dune from Serenity Eye Care. All right. And then you want next slide? Just say next slide and make a change.
Good morning. You'll need to forgive my voice. I am actually recovering from laryngitis. Okay, thank you. Good morning. My name is Dr. Barbara Dune. I'm a doctor of optometry. Been practicing for over 30 years. First slide, sorry. Oh, okay. I did good. Sorry. For over 30 years. I was born in East Africa. My father is a doctor, my mother a nurse. And this gave me an intimate, close-up view of delivering healthcare services to a medically vulnerable population in often challenging environment. I trained in the UK and then worked in Southern Africa for 13 years before moving to the US. For the last 15 years, I have been working in Hartford, and in October of 2020, I opened my own practice, Serenity Eye Care, in Woodland Street. It was a cold start. I started with just one staff member, working out of a space of about 800 square feet. At Serenity Eye Care, I provide both visual and medical eye care services. Not only do we treat eyes and provide prescribed glasses and contact lenses, but we also diagnose and treat some eye diseases. Sorry, next. Opening at the end of the pandemic was challenging, but fortunately, a number of my patients from my previous place followed me. I also practice at a community health center in the north end of Hartford part-time, where I provide primary eye care services. So any patients there who need medical eye services, I see at Serenity. As a result of this, I was able to quickly increase my patient encounters, allowing me to add 2 employees within 18 months and buy more diagnostic equipment. In November 2020, needing more space, we moved upstairs to our current office, which is about 24,000 square feet. Because of my location, my patient base is mainly African American and Hispanic, which was intentional, as I wanted my patients to see a healthcare provider who looked like them. Not only are we a highly economically disadvantaged population, but we're also disproportionately affected by diabetes, high blood pressure, glaucoma, and lupus. Since opening, we have had positive revenue growth year to year. In 2023, the percentage increase was slightly affected, as when we moved to the new office, the paperwork submitted was affected to insurances, affected our payments, even though patient visits increased. But we were able to eventually correct this and get back on track. So in 2024, our total revenue was just over $450,000. In 2024, our average revenue per patient exam was $600, which puts us among the top 10% of practices nationwide. Of that, 485 was clinic revenue, which placed us among the top 1% of practices. Our average clinic revenue per exam increased by 51% from 2023 into 2024. So medical exams are profitable for us. In 2024, our optical revenue per patient exam was $119, putting us in the bottom 40% of practices nationwide. And we had a new patient ratio of 32%, putting us in the top 50% of practices. So this is where we have most room to grow. I cannot physically see more patients myself and cannot reduce on my medical visits, which have been our main revenue drive. So the only way to improve our optical revenue and new patient ratio is to bring in another doctor, which will require a new exam lane. By using the $25,000, we'll be able to purchase a new exam lane. We'll have the space and no construction is needed. A large number of my patients are on Medicare and Medicaid or have no insurance, which restricts their access to eye doctors. Due to the stagnant and low remuneration rates of Medicare and Medicaid, a number of eye doctors are dropping these insurances. So if I'm awarded the grant, I'll be able to offer more vision exams to this population. More patient encounters and no equipment payments will increase my profit margin. Initially, we'll start with the doctor coming in 3 days a month and seeing about 30 patients, which will increase our revenue by 20%, and gradually increase the doctor days to 5 days a month, which would increase monthly revenue by 36%. We hope to realize this within a year of getting new doctor. To increase diversity in revenue streams, we're working on attracting more patients with commercial insurances, which have better remuneration rates, and these patients also tend to have more disposable income. In 2024, our eyewear capture rate was 80%, so if we see more patients, more patient exams, we know that they'll buy their glasses from us. Healthy eyes and good vision are essential to our well-being. So regular eye exams will ensure problems are detected and treated early. I'm the current president of the Connecticut Association of Optometrists, and one of our key missions is to educate the public on the importance of regular eye exams. This message applies to all of you who are here today. If you've not had an eye exam in over a year, please schedule an appointment. Thank you.
Barbara, you're the best. Thank you so much. All right, Tasha, it's your turn again.
Thank you for the presentation. You talked about this opportunity or this funding would increase your clients with the new lane, about 30 clients. Can you tell me annually how many clients do you actually plan on seeing between both lanes, just so we can understand the growth or the expansion?
So currently I'm seeing about 1,500 patients a year, and that's just with 3 days in the clinic. So my idea is also, by improving revenues, is to reduce my hours at the other practice that I'm working and start working more full-time at my own practice.
Gabby, it's your turn.
Thank you. So I guess with the expansion, right? You're looking to expand lanes, you're looking to get a new one. How many more jobs will this generate?
Okay, so currently I have 4 members, full-time staff, and I do also have 1 virtual assistant. And we're probably looking at having, 3 additional staff if we have an additional doctor, just with all the paperwork that has to be done.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Rafia.
Thank you, Dr. Dunn, and specifically for presenting when you're recovering. I appreciate it. Can you talk a little bit about your strategy to attract new clients, specifically those that are either cash paying or have alternative insurance options outside of Medicare or Medicaid? You've mentioned you're located in Hartford. Are you expecting to attract clients outside of the county? Like, where would this new clientele be?
Okay. We definitely want to sort of attract patients, obviously, within the area where we work. We do work where, I don't know if you know much about Woodland Street, but it is a lot of medical offices there, so a lot of medical health workers there, and also very close to St. Francis, so there are a lot of medical health workers there who do have insurances. We plan to try and target this by using Google ads. We do use a certain company which does our website, and they will be using those Google ads for us. They will be targeting, we're using a geospatial something, which I don't understand, but but they will be using that to actually target clients or potential clients that are within a 10-mile radius of where we work.
Thank you so much. Okay, next up is Kira. A little out of order, I apologize. Kira Matos, owner and founder of Kira Matos Studio. And if the clicker doesn't work, just say next slide and Meg will change the
Okay,
slides.
thank you. Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here among so many individuals who value and support female entrepreneurship, and represented, actually. My name is Kiara Matos. I am it's going down, sorry. I am a ceramics artist. I run a ceramic and studio, store and studio in New Haven, Connecticut, right behind City Hall. I have been doing ceramics for 25 years, initially in Venezuela, where I'm from, and now in New Haven, where I moved 10 years ago. I used to do my work from home and used to sell and market my work through interior designers, museum galleries, trade shows, and etc. The practice grew big enough that I had started to get too many visits to this home studio, and I decided it was time to move out of the studio. So right after COVID, this location became available right next to one of my husband's cafes in town, and I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to replicate this model I had seen in Europe, which is where my husband is from, where craft artists have studios that have the storefront right in there. So you get to see where the art is being made, and I thought it was a beautiful concept to try to replicate. It's been 4 years since I moved into this space. I am very glad I did. The practice has definitely grown. My clientele has definitely expanded. There is great foot traffic. Just recently, I got an important interior design commission because the owner of this important New York design firm ran into the store on his way to the train station. So things are running well, even though I took this big rent on my shoulders after having worked from home all this time. Now, during these 4 years, I have come to realize there isn't only need for my beautiful work. There is an incredible need for lessons. Half of the people who come in get super excited when they see the working space, and the first thing they ask is, "Oh my God, can we do it too? And do you offer lessons?" And you have no idea how disappointed they are when I say it's just my studio. I'm starting to feel almost guilty about it. So I knew this because ceramic lessons have become incredibly popular. You open the Instagram and there's tons of people sitting on their wheel and having so much fun and whatnot. But I wanted to have a feeling of the experience. It was a big change to leave the home and rent the space and start doing the work from there. Now, after 4 years, it is clear I'm missing on a great opportunity. So what are the things that tell me this? We have collecting people's emails, and we have over 300 people signed up just to hear about when the classes start. We're also very well located. I'm in the downtown New Haven area, but I'm nearby East Rock and Worcester, which are kind of wealthy communities for New Haven with disposable income. I also have access to the Yale community, which is always renewing. So if I set up a studio practice where people can come and learn from me, I would be, sorry, next slide. This is my slide for the demographics, so we know we have plenty of people at walking distance. And this is what I thought. I like to go slowly. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I believe in organic growth. I love that my clients come to me, and they keep repeating because I'm doing things right. And what I thought was, what if I take 2 days a week, and I host 4 groups of 6 people once a week? This, for me, would reflect into a 50% revenue and would add a new full-time employee. Right now just have a part-time employee. So this would be a great start to test the program and see where it can take us. I would like to add that I have been able to read from the community that people are desperate for spaces like this. They are tired of being on their phone. They don't know what to do with themselves. They need experiences like this to wind down after work. They want their kids to get out of their phones and do something different. So I would like to say that this is what this space would provide for our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kira. Okay, Gabby, it's your turn.
Thank you. So thank you so much for your presentation. It was really good. Also, I wanted to say that we're really impressed with how involved you are in the community.
Thank you.
So if you don't receive the grant today, right? Mm-hmm. What's your backup plan to still offer classes at your studio?
So I'm already offering one-in-one lessons, though these are kind of expensive and not everyone can afford them. But with time, I would just keep adding wheels and buy the equipment little by little. So instead of getting the classes started by September, I would get them running in the next 2 years, I guess. Yeah.
Got you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafia.
Kiara, great presentation. Can you talk about your pricing model and how much earned revenue you would anticipate receiving by offering either lessons or workshops in ceramics?
Yes, of course. So I'm leading my pricing by market price, which is very reasonable. So we're talking about $50 per session for group session, and that would with the 24 people, it would bring 50% revenue of what I'm receiving right now. That's the. So other than that, I do private lessons, which are a little pricier. So I don't want to do that. I would rather do it's more effective to do group lessons, and it's more affordable for everyone.
Terrific. Thank you, Tasha.
Yeah. So thank you for the presentation. You talked about the lessons, but you also talked about renting your space out. What does that actually look like, or what would that be for an individual?
Yes, so if I'm gonna bring in 6 wheels and the equipment, I thought it would be, I know someone else is doing this and he's booked up. He's a friend. Everyone in the ceramics community is a friend, so I know what's happening in everyone else's grounds. So if I already have the space and I have the equipment, I could rent the spaces out for people who already know ceramics. They just want a space. They just want a space to practice themselves. Yeah.
Terrific.
Okay.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Kiara. Okay, next up is Glenna Doyle, who is the founder of Rhodes Scholar, and I believe she's bringing Tiger.
If the remote doesn't work, just say next slide, and Meg will change the slide for you.
All right. Am I able to swap my thing
Yes,
for
of
that
course
thing?
you can.
Oh, good.
I'm worried this might be an unfair advantage because she got the cute factor going. But
Treats and everything here. Where is the remote? And so, whoops. Okay. Hi there.
Morning.
My name is Glenna Doyle, and I am so happy and thankful to be here with all of you. I have Tiger, and down there is Maddie and Susan. We're from Rhodes Collar. That's my business. It's the leading dog training and behavior center in southeastern Connecticut. Established in 2006, I've been working in training and behavior for over 30 years. I hold a master's in clinical animal behavior. Training dogs to become excellent family members and community citizens, and teaching people how to become confident, competent dog parents is what I'm most passionate about. It's about building community. Our programs are science-based, so from very young puppies and newly adopted dogs to silver paws like Maddie, senior dogs, our programs reduce dog surrenders by strengthening the human-animal bond, and they keep dogs integrated into everyday life with their families. And this is the power of ethical, evidence-based training with passion. At Rhodes Collar, we know that not everyone can afford dog training. I certainly couldn't growing up. And we care about our community, so we offer scale pricing. Oh. Did it work?
other way.
Oh. Whoop. Oh, I'm not very good at that. Thanks to the 2021 Women's Business Development Council grant, We had a new website built that streamlined our operations and boosted our visibility and positioned us for long-term growth. And grow we did, from Puppy Boot Camp to Brainiac School for hyper-arousal dogs to Silver Paws School for senior dogs, and specialty programs for therapy dogs who provide service in the community. Our growth resulted in a new flagship property, jobs for 13 skilled women dog trainers, interns who become junior trainers in the summer, and an increase in revenue of about 18% and clients of about 47%. Our clients have voiced a need for grooming support, especially older adults who may struggle to bathe their dogs, and many dogs are afraid of grooming in general, and this can become more stressful and challenging with age, which can strain relationships. We're ready to meet this moment with a trusted team and a proven track record and a well-established relationship. We're well positioned to address this need with your support and provide compassionate expansion. This expansion would make it possible for us. We're growing into a complete care center, so with the grant we would be able to equip a wet room, a dry room, a style room, and a hydrotherapy room to provide new services for Stonington and surrounding towns in southeastern Connecticut. This would increase jobs in the community. It would open brand new jobs, which would continue to increase with time. It would increase our projected revenues of about $37,000 in the short part year, and 2025, and up to $270,000 by 2027. These services would be provided in a carefully curated environment that is dog-friendly when warranted, and by providing these services and addressing hygiene and aging with compassion, we meet a need to help families keep their dogs clean, close, and happy. And the result, deeper bonds, more resilient communities, and healthier mental and physical wellness. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Glenna. Okay, Rafia, you get to be first.
I feel like everyone's just looking at the dogs.
Thank you for that.
So you mentioned if given the grant, you'd be able to create additional services and options.
Yes.
With like hydrotherapy, a grooming room. Can you speak to how many clients do you serve now? And if you were to receive the grant, how many more clients would you be able to service in like the next year?
Okay, so thank you for the question. And we have just under 2,000 clients right now. With the grooming and the hydrotherapy, we would probably we'll start slow. So in 2025, the plan would be to really take it easy and make the service and the environment really, really effective and quality. That would probably be, was 4 dogs a day in the beginning, which is 20 dogs, was 80 dogs a month in just 2025, and that was for grooming. And I have this written down, but of course I'm forgetting it right now. But essentially, our client growth would bloom significantly, and our revenues would increase by up to $270,000 in just a couple of years. We would also be able to continue to provide some slide scaling. Did I answer it? Not really. I have those numbers if I can look for them. I didn't think I would be that nervous. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so grooming would be, in 2026, would be about 360 sessions, and in, 2025, in 2026, it would be about 1660 sessions, and in 2027, it would be about 2,200 sessions. The unit prices, if you want that?
Mm-hmm.
No, okay.
Thank you very much. We're running late on time, so Tasha, can you ask your question quick?
Just staying with that thread, can you talk about the scale pricing? That sounds unique, so can you share what that means?
Yes, so growing up, I became accustomed to scale pricing and was got good at asking for it. It just means if you have a dog and you don't have the funds, we work out what you can pay. And we've actually sponsored some people who didn't have any funds, but they were very serious students. So every time we help to train a dog, whether somebody can pay or pay less or pay more, it still promotes that health in the community and one more trained dog, one more dog that's not going to be surrendered. So we feel strongly about that.
Okay, thank you so much. Gabby, your turn.
So if you were to get the grant, right, what's your timeline for building the wet room?
Yes. So we figured we would be ready to start in September, which is, because it will take us some time. The underwater treadmill will take time to get, will take time to install. All of this will need to be purchased, received, installed, and at this point, with the current state of affairs, I still think that timeline would work. But our goal would be to be up and running in September. So we do September, October, November, and December at really low numbers, and then start in 2026 full blast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glenna, thank you so much. Okay, Lauren Soden from Stems and Company is coming up with some beautiful stems, I believe.
From seeing me, but that's okay, right?
And just say next slide when you want.
Okay, thank you. Thanks to everyone for being here today. My name is Lauren Soden. I own Stems & Co. I'm going last but not least, I think. I own a boutique event floral design business and lifestyle brand. I'm kind of shocked I'm here today because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with my life. When I graduated from college, or I was a senior in college, I went to take one of those what to be when you grow up tests to try to figure out what I should do for my career. And I was shocked when it came back saying that I should be a florist. I immediately rolled my eyes and thought to myself, my parents would kill me if they paid for my 4-year college degree, and I then went to go play with flowers. But after leaving the corporate world, 11 years later, I was setting up at the farmer's market, having invested $2,500 of my own money to start Stems & Co. We are event floral design business. We do florals. We were selling candles, and now we've just moved to Georgetown, Connecticut. We just took on a new, larger studio location, opened a new retail store, and we're really flourishing right now. Next slide, please. We are known for our flowers. Events are the primary part of our business, but it really goes beyond flowers. It's really an immersive brand experience. Our flowers are whimsical, as you see. They're not your kind of customary floral, so our clients really come to us for our unique perspective. Our retail studio is not your traditional florist. We sell our bouquets, but we also sell other lifestyle and home decor items. I make a line of hand-poured soy candles out of the studio, which we also sell there. They're clean, so they're safe from for your home. And we have a DIY interactive plant bar on site so you can make your own plants and decorate them. When we're not using the studio for our events, we are hosting workshops, we do floral arranging, candle making, and we also bring in other creatives from outside of the community to teach their own trades and really celebrate the community as a whole. We also offer flower subscriptions weekly and wholesale our candles. Next slide, sorry. People come to us for our artistry. They come to us for our big ideas, for our outside of the box thinking. We're really true partners with our clients. Our retail experience is more than just your standard retail experience. It's a real, it transports you, it inspires you, and it's a real great option for people who are experiencing retail fatigue right now. We're women owned, we're solely women employed right now, and that's a huge part we're proud of. We're also a creative hub, so it's not just about celebrating ourselves, but it's about bringing in other artists to tell their stories, to show what they can do, and teach the community at large. Next slide, please. With the WBDC Accelerate Grant, we're looking to put the funds towards, surprise, a vehicle, a branded Stems & Co. vehicle specifically. Obviously, this will ensure that our products get from point A to point B safely, but also that our team gets from point A to point B safely. It also will act as a mobile billboard. To date, I've been building this business by myself, of my own grit for past 9 years, and I can only imagine the possibilities when our brand is out there, there's more awareness, and people are seeing the van on the roads. To date, we've been hiring U-Haul vehicles for events and relying on my team to use their vehicles to transport everything to the location. So this vehicle would really do a lot for us to show up in a professional manner as our business grows, and we're taking on larger events that are further away. It'll really take us to the next level. Next slide. In 2023, we were honored to receive the WBDC grant towards a walk-in cooler. Historically, our revenue growth has been about 15% year over year, but with that influx, we saw that jump to 21% year over year. So I'm projecting that with this potential grant that we can take that to 25% year over year growth. To date, we've really been just word of mouth, referral-based business. So having the brand recognition would really help lead to increased business. And we're looking to create jobs. I am not a one-woman show, but a lot is on my shoulders. So my goal here is to really hire the right people, hire delivery people, hire the right staff. I need to take the business to the next level and support the growth that we're anticipating. It's not just a van, it's a vehicle for transformation, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Tasha, you get to go first for the last time.
Thank you for your presentation. You talk about the impact in this being a marketing tool for your organization and the growth. When you talk about that growth in adding additional staff, what does that look like for you over the next 24 months?
Yeah, I think, I am a small business. I have a few, 2 part-time employees. I hire freelance staff for event-based work, but it really is just me. So at this point, I'm looking to add 1 or 2 more team members and really kind of take it to the next level. I can only do so much myself, so this really will give us a great launching point to kind of take it to the next level.
Terrific, thank you. Gabby.
So regarding to the purchase of the van, right? Could you please give us an idea of the typical size of events that you're currently servicing versus the ones that you're going to be servicing after?
Yeah, events you said specifically?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right now we're servicing, our events I'd say on average are $10,000 per event for florals alone. And we can take that up to 20%, $20,000 on average. At this point, we're seeing a ton of demand. We're also seeing further distances. And so with this van, we can not only serve those larger weddings. I have wonderful clients that are asking me to go an hour and a half, 2 hours away, but we don't have a great vehicle to do that with. Right now we're hiring U-Hauls. So I think we can really take, our average event right now is probably about $10,000, but I am seeing bigger and bigger events every single year. So I can see that doubling.
Thank you.
Okay, Rafi.
Thanks, Lauren, and that is a beautiful arrangement.
Thank you.
Can you talk about the diversity of your clientele? I think you just mentioned weddings? So obviously individuals, do you have corporate partners? Do you have enterprise partners?
Corporate is definitely, we've just shifted the business to focus primarily on events. And that right now is primarily weddings, kind of larger events. But corporate is a big place that we'd like to grow. In addition to, now that we have this new studio space, we're really looking to teach more, to bring in the community, to, so we have, having just moved the business in January, opened the new store in March, I can see so much potential in terms of various revenue streams, for sure.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Lauren. We really appreciate it. So thank you, fantastic clients, for doing such an amazing job with your presentations. And thank you, judges, for your insightful questions. We are going to be asking you to follow Juliet right here, who will lead you to a quiet space to discuss the presentations and make your decisions. I do not, it's a tough job because I would give it to everybody. And finalists, you can now take a seat in the audience and relax. Everyone's calming down, you can chill. You all did a fantastic job, and now we are switching over to the panel portion of our presentation.
Thank you so much, Carol and Brenda, and thank you to our amazing business owners. Let's give them another round of applause. Now they can breathe. Now they can exhale a little bit. And I hope you're all inspired by them to apply for that grant next year. You can check out our website and go for the information on what's available to you, and maybe you can be up here next year vying for that $25,000 grant. So now I want to invite our panelists forward. We're going to have a panel conversation with WBDC grant recipients, moderated by Patricia Clapper, WBDC Business Advisor. So let's hear from some other panelists and grant recipients.
Hello, everyone. So great to see all of you here today. Now that we have you thoroughly warmed up, we'll get started. First of all, what an amazing presentation by all of these Accelerate Grant finalists. Wow. So don't worry, it's super easy to do. Anybody can do it. Not true. So very, very impressive. Thank you for that. Y bienvenidas a todas las mujeres latinas. Had to do that. So we at the WBDC really believe that every single one of you has an Accelerate grant inside them. We really do. So go get it. Now, while our judges are doing the impossible task of having to choose these winners, we are going to talk about something that is a subject probably near and dear to most of your hearts, which is access to capital. So that means finding loans and grants to fund your businesses. My name is Pat Clapper. I am honored to be a WBDC Business Advisor, and I will be moderating today. Right, before we get into it, here we go. Before we get into it, we're going to give you a little bit more information on each of the grants that we offer. And by the way, if you have questions along the way as we're talking about access to capital, there is a QR code there. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's the QR code for more information on our grants. I'll show you the other one in a minute. All right. So we have the Launchpad grant. It is a $2,500 grant given to new businesses that are less than 2 years old. For this particular grant, we ask that you join us for one of our series classes, because what we are most interested in is making sure that you are educated and that you are poised for success in your business. Then we have the Ignite grant. Yes, it can start at $2,500, but why would you start there? Go to $10,000, find a project that you'd like to do. That's for businesses that have been in operation for more than 2 years. And then we go to Accelerate, which you have experienced some of that today. Those are, as Brenda had told us, those are the ones that you would have had to have won an Ignite grant before that, and would need to demonstrate to us that you've had some measurable success using those funds. And then you can apply for Accelerate and go through the hell that they went through. Anybody here from Waterbury? Oh, yes. Are you childcare or non-childcare? Okay. Anybody else? Oh, childcare? Non-childcare? Non-childcare. Excellent. So have I got a grant for you too? It is the Waterbury grant. It's just like the Ignite grant. It's $10,000. It's funded by your city. So please, why would you not apply for the Waterbury grant? Have you applied for the Waterbury grant? Not yet. Okay, today. All right. All right, in addition to those, we try to express our gratitude and our complete backing of the childcare businesses in this state, because we know how important they are and we so appreciate what all of you do. Therefore, we have 3 childcare grants for you. One is the startup grant, up to $25,000. And then we have the expansion grant, so to build on your success. And we have the emergency facilities grant, up to $15,000, I believe, yes, for those things that just happened that are urgently needed to be fixed. So those are our grants. As I said before, correctly so, that you can find more information on them if you use that QR code. And I am so grateful that we all live in a state that so appreciates successful entrepreneurial women. We are so lucky to live in a place that backs us and backs these kinds of grants. Yes, yes. Okay, onward. I have 3 amazing women with me here today, and they are going to talk to us about access to capital. We will have, if you have questions, now I'm going to say what I was going to say before, which was incorrect. Now it is correct. If you have questions, there's a little guy right back here that you can just write your questions, so we will wait until the end to get those questions answered. All right. I'm going to my seat now. All right, first of all, we have Beth Ibanelli. She is the owner of Milk Lactation Support Center in Norwalk, and she's kind enough to be here with us today. We have also Dr. Natasha Lewis-Charles, who runs the eye therapy practice in Orange, Orange, Connecticut. And then we have my friend and WBDC business advisor as well, and as a bonus, the expert here today, because it isn't me, on access to capital. So thank you very much, the 3 of you. We so appreciate your being here. All right, here we go. Is everybody's mic on? No. Terrific. All right. So Beth and Natasha, both of you have experience in access to capital. You both have received a WBDC grant and other funding. Would you be able to describe for us, please, what sort of funding you have been able to obtain? Natasha.
Sure. So I founded WBDC on Google, honestly. I was in the process of looking for grants. I didn't know where to start. So as we know, Google is a great place to look. So I did a Google search, and WBDC came up. And then I saw an opportunity for, at the time, it was called the Equity Match Grant, which is now called the Ignite Grant. I was a solo practitioner in my practice, and I wanted to expand and have a second lane. And I saw a great opportunity to get some funding to actually purchase that second lane. So I was awarded in 2022 the Equity Match Grant, again known as the Ignite Grant now, to buy a second lane, which was amazing. And then following that in about 2023, I spoke with one of the advisors. I had a great relationship with Carol, who's right over there, and Samantha, and I was looking to expand my practice, and I was looking for more funding, wasn't able to get it through the bank. So actually, Samantha mentioned to me the Connecticut, it's basically the Connecticut Small Business Boost Program. It's actually a loan, and they offer loans between $5,000 to $500,000 with a very low interest. 4.5% interest rate, and they give you terms from 5 to 6 years to pay that off. So that was huge for me as well. So as I continued to grow, hired another doctor, needed more space, then came Accelerant. I wasn't even expecting this grant from WBDC. I got a notice, an email. Again, it's great working with that WBDC community because they communicate with you when there's opportunities. When before I never knew of any opportunities till I first found the WBDC. So with that, I had to fill out another application, which I was pretty confident at that point. And I was actually picked as one of the finalists, so I understand how the ladies felt, doing a pitch in front of everyone. It could be nerve-wracking, but it's also a rewarding experience. It gave me a lot more confidence in my business and to be able to speak in front of people like investors about why I need money to grow my business. So I was awarded that grant in 2024, which is last year, which is crazy, and that was amazing. I'm so very grateful to the WBDC community and to Libertas, who actually gave me that grant. We are in the process of hiring a fourth doctor for our practice, so continuing to grow. So thank you for all that.
So when I first started my business is Milk Street Lactation Support Center. I'm a registered nurse and board certified lactation consultant. And I kind of reached a dead end and decided I wanted to open my own business. I've always had an entrepreneurial heart, but that doesn't go so well in a hospital. When you're an RN working at the bedside, you don't get to create a lot of ideas. So I had the opportunity to open up my own storefront lactation practice, offering prenatal education and postpartum feeding support for moms who get launched out of the hospital very quickly and are, kind of confused as to how to handle things. Unfortunately, when I started my business, I used funding from my own retirement account and quickly realized that that was not sustainable and I needed to figure this out. And that's when I came into contact with the WBDC, and Carol asked me, "Where's your business plan?" And I said, "I don't have one." And she's like, "Okay, this is where we start." And so I just jumped in without being careful because I was so excited about it. And I quickly found out also that banks don't loan to a brand new business that's just really excited about it. I was a little bit at a loss. I was by myself initially, seeing clients, and as all business owners know, you do everything from empty the garbage to, meeting with the bookkeeper and seeing clients. And I was able to access 2 of the WBDC grants. With a lot of help and coaching and support. I cannot say how highly I think of them as far as a resource. I look forward to applying next year. I did also access a 0% loan through an organization called Kiva Business Loans that someone from my town let me know about through the town's city hall. So that was very, very helpful. And I've since added another lactation consultant. I have 2 more that we're going to be adding to the staff in the next couple of months, hopefully. And we also have a pediatric occupational therapist on staff to help with those really tricky babies that are having trouble learning how to feed.
Amazing, thank you. Now, I'm sure you have encountered some challenges along the way. If you wouldn't mind telling us or describing some of those challenges to us in accessing capital, that would be great. Thank you. Beth.
Well, as I said, approaching banks when you haven't been in business very long is the biggest challenge. Luckily, I am a service-oriented business, so I don't have to invest heavily in inventory, so that makes it a little easier to run kind of close to the edge. But I would just say it was my lack of knowledge and lack of time in business to be able to access it, and just not knowing where to go, not having the right network, and creating the relationships with WBDC and other business owners has really helped me to figure that out.
Yeah. I can just piggyback off of what Beth just said. I think that was initially my issue, right? Just working with banks that weren't really helping with financing a smaller business. Also, not knowing where to look. Hence why, when I don't know, I just go to Google and I search. So I guess that was an opportunity for me, and it was a challenge, but, challenge accepted, and look where I'm at now. So able to get multiple grants of 3 years down the road and have a great community of women that support my business in WBDC. So I'm very, very fortunate to have landed here, to be honest. I didn't expect to be here either, like on stage talking to you guys about how to get grants.
And just so you know, the WBDC believes that these kinds of stories are our dream scenario. People go from a Launchpad grant to an Ignite grant and to an Accelerate grant, right alongside you. So thank you. Tanya.
Yes.
Tanya. How did their experiences compare to what you've heard from other clients? And what's your best advice for handling the challenges?
Okay, well, first of all, hello everybody. I'm looking around. It's nice to see everybody here today. That, as my daughter would say, that tracks, right? She taught me that. It tracks. I've met with several business owners, small business owners, that say the same thing. How can I get a loan when I have not been in business for a year or 2 years? My revenues are not meeting these eligibility requirements. What do I do? And so I could give you a whole host of areas, places that you can go. For example, you can get in touch with us, right? We have a ton of resources. So the Women's Business Development Council, the Small Business Development Council, SCORE, libraries, Town Hall, there's a list, right? But the short answer in terms of that particular challenge is to simply get in touch with us, right? Let's work with you so that you can bridge that gap. That's it.
Thank you. Natasha, you've received grants from the WBDC and a Connecticut Boost loan. What's similar about those processes for applying for a loan and a grant? Did you do anything differently when you were approaching each?
So for the Ignite grant, when I first applied, that was my first time applying to a grant. So I really had no knowledge base on what the requirements was, but I felt very well prepared, having financials, which is something I had already organized, like all my profit and loss statements, my tax returns. That's something I'm just naturally organized that way. I already had a business plan probably from 8 years ago before I had a business. So those are the things I already had in place, but I also had, honestly, the advice from a lot of the advisors at WBDC, because I didn't know how to put everything together when I applied for these applications. So they really guided me through the process. They even had sessions, which I advise you guys to utilize the sessions when you're applying for grants. They give you the tools that you need to understand how to put the certain information, and if you don't know how to do certain things, they have so many classes on how to write a business plan, how to do financials, so it's important, I feel like, to understand your business that way, because in order to grow, you need to know where you're coming from in terms of financial ground. So yeah, I think having that and then applying for a loan, it's all very similar. I don't think much was different, except obviously you're applying for a loan, they're gonna run your credit. So I would say that's one of the big differences. You're gonna obviously get, they're gonna run your credit, but other than that, they ask for all the financials, they ask for a business plan, they want to see what you're going to use the money for, and how your business is going to grow, which includes projections, which I already had in place from applying from previous grants. So those are the things that were similar and different, I guess.
So Natasha, for the loans, what are they looking for in terms of your credit score?
For me, I think they were looking for somewhere in the 600s, like 650, around 6-ish. I don't remember the exact number. My credit score was actually a little higher, so. But I would say in the 600s, give or take.
Great, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. Tanya, Can
Sí.
you? Hola, chica.
Hola, chica.
Can you talk to us about preparing to access capital? What do you tell entrepreneurs they should do and put together in order to start thinking about that?
Yeah, so look, I meet with, and my colleague Samantha also, who's also an Access to Capital advisor, a lot of small business owners are busy running their business, right? They don't have enough hours in the day as it is. And so many of them don't come to us as prepared as Dr. Charles, right? And so what I tell them is, if you stay ready, right, then you're not getting ready. And so what that means is we can take a look at documents, for example, financials. Are you organizing your finances, right? Do you know where your tax returns are? Do you have a business plan, right? Beth, like you were talking about with Carol. I try to tell people the minute you are thinking about getting a loan, it's time to get ready, right? Oftentimes you'll hear that you need a loan, that you should get ready for a loan way before you may need it, a loan or a grant.
I also want to reiterate that if you are looking for a grant from us, please, 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 and I know Natasha said this, make an appointment with an advisor. Don't go at it alone, because we can help you to make sure it's framed appropriately. All right, Beth and Natasha, was there a time you applied for funding and didn't get it, if you want to admit it? Looking back, why do you think it was unsuccessful, and what lessons did you learn? Beth?
Well, the most unsuccessful was, going to my local bank and thinking they would just, wow, woman-owned business, sure, you're doing good work, why not? And also not being prepared, not being ready. I think for a lot of women, finances can bring up a lot of emotions and a lot of scary stuff, and I found that, facing it head on and getting the numbers on paper and being prepared, I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned about approaching anything, so you don't go in feeling nervous and unsure. You're prepared and you have your numbers and you have a plan and you have a goal. So I think just being prepared.
And as I think someone mentioned, the more prepared you are, it helps you in every situation. It helps you to manage your business better, and that's what we go for. Okay. Tanya. Oh, I'm sorry, Natasha. Natasha, speak up.
Well, Beth keeps taking my answers, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to say. Yeah, because I agree with her 100%. I went to my bank to access funding. They actually had a grant at the bank I applied for, but it is a bank that's national. So obviously I'm in a pool of large applicants. So I didn't get the grant, but it didn't stop me from applying to other grants. What lesson learned there, I think I would stay more local with grants because you have a higher chance of getting the money, right? If you stay within the state of Connecticut, chances are you're going to have a good chance of getting a grant in Connecticut, whether it be the first or second time versus with a large bank. Nationally, you have 50 plus states, you're applying with a lot of people, so your chances are a lot less. So I think that's kind of like the lesson learned for me there. But I still tried, even if it was a small, tiny chance to get that grant. But yeah, I think that's, just being more focused on local areas, community. I love the fact that WBDC supports women businesses and small, obviously we're small, but I don't consider us small. We're small that are growing businesses because obviously I've elevated my business substantially with the grants I've received from WBDC. So I'm just excited to partner with them, and I hope you guys really, go out. There's so many grants available to you guys and access, to advisors that I, obviously enjoy working with. So, definitely it's been a great opportunity. Yeah.
Wonderful. Tanya, what do you tell clients who come to you after applying for and not receiving funding?
Yeah, this really tugs at my heartstrings because I'm really passionate about this aspect of the loan process or accessing capital. Number one, I tell people to lean into it, right? Because it's disappointing, right, to work really hard and to get a denial, right? So I want people to lean into it for a minute, right? And then I want to find out why they were denied. Was it your credit score? Was it
because you were not in business long enough? What were the reasons? And then let's work hard to get that no changed to a yes, right? I definitely believe in, I don't believe in a lot in no's. I believe in not yets or not nows, right? Like it's either a yes or it's a not now. So, yeah, thanks.
Great, thank you. All right, just a couple more minutes, so we have a couple more questions for Beth and Natasha. What one piece of advice would you give to those in the room trying to access capital for their businesses? Natasha.
I have a few, but I'll give them probably one of the most important is really to have a business plan. Understanding your business and being able to show any organization that, listen, I have a plan, I know what my business is about, I know how I'm going to grow my business, I have service structure, and you know, that's important. I think that's one of the best advice I can give is having that. I think financial organization, just like you said, is extremely important, and that's all encompassed in a business plan. So I would say that would be my advice.
I can't remember the question, so I'm going to ask it again. What one piece of advice would you have for those in the room trying to access capital?
This time you took my answer, is have a business plan. And it forces you, having a business plan, to understand if your passion and your excitement is really a viable option when it's all down on paper, because we have great dreams, and the dreams is where it starts, but then getting it down on paper really helps us to understand, is this a reality? Is this something that I can really make happen? So yeah, a business plan, and the WBDC all day long.
Right, all we talk about are business plans, right, Carol?
It's like it's the foundation.
It is. It doesn't seem that way, but it is.
Yeah.
Tanya, one last thing for you, please.
Okay. Yeah.
What are the top 3 things you believe are critical to be successful in accessing capital?
Okay, let's see. The first thing that I would say is organize your finances, right? Track your income and expenses, your assets and liabilities, right? Make sure you're doing that. I'm digressing here, but I also recommend an accounting software program because it can help you to automate. So that's one. And that helps you to lead into number 2, which is by doing that, you're able to review, understand, and generate financials that are sound, that are robust, right? And that will also include business plans, like financial reporting is really important. The third thing is monitor your credit score, right? Because they are not looking for a business score a lot, they want your personal credit score, so monitor that. And I know you said 3, but I'm going to do like a 3A. The other thing I'm going to say is that if you have challenges with 1 through 3, or if you're on this sort of access to capital journey, book a session with us. We are here to help you. We want to see you get the grant. We want to see you get the loan. That's all I've got.
Okay. All right, thank you all so much. Now we're going to go to the questions, if there are any from the audience.
There absolutely are. So what was the sign that let you know you needed to grow to be more successful in your business? How did you know you actually needed to go and seek that grant or loan?
So for me, I was a one-man show kind of. So I had a practice. I was the doctor. I was the biller. I was doing training for the 2 staff members I had at the time. So I realized that I was getting burnt out. So I'm like, in order to grow, I need to be able to delegate tasks, and I have to have good people. So I needed to have another doctor, obviously, to help see more patients. I also need to have more staff to help me see more patients. So that led me to believe that I needed more capital to help my business grow. So I needed more money so I can buy a second office, an exam lane, I should say, so I can see more patients.
I would agree. When you are a clinician, you're offering a service-based kind of business, or you're just the one person that's running your business, when you start to get burnt out and realize that some wise person said, in order to grow your business, you have to work on your business, not in your business. And when you're steeped in that day-to-day, seeing clients, and then by the end of the day, you sit down and think, oh, I have to look at my numbers and I have to order, supplies, it can get really, really tiring and exhausting and make you just want to quit. So I think that was it, finding that I was starting to get burned out, and also that the demand was increasing. And so that allowed me to bring on another provider, and hopefully we'll bring on more.
That's really helpful. And kind of building on that, how can a small business owner determine the right amount of funding to seek and what they should be using that funding for?
I think that comes from working on financial strategy, looking at, for example, what is the need and the reason for that. Taking a look at hopefully some historical information, maybe a profit and loss, right? Looking at what expenses are, what the needs are for your business, and then where you want to go, and really looking at those numbers. And so I think in order to assess what you need, we need to talk about what your ask is, really kind of do some digging to see what those numbers look like, and then look at the revenue that's coming in, the expenses and things like that, so that we can see whether or not you can afford this particular and afford a loan. So yeah, I think knowing your numbers, looking at the ask, combining it with the ask, I think will help you to determine how much you're going to need. You don't want to get something that's too much, right? You know, okay, I get approved for 100,000. You may not need that, right? Projections can really help you with that. So that's my answer there.
All right, thank you. Guys, keep the questions coming in. Thank you so much for doing them. Another question from the audience. What are some of the biggest misconceptions small business owners have about securing funding?
One is, I hear a lot is, so they're going to look at my business credit score, right? And so the answer is no, they're going to look at your personal credit score. So I hear that quite a bit. Yeah, I think that's it. That's the biggest misconception that I can think of right now. I know there are others, but I can't think of another one right now. I can't believe it. I will tell you, a lot of people think it's harder. Like a lot of people are discouraged and they don't want to ask. They feel like they'll never get a loan, or they think that lenders are out to get them, or there's a lot of judgment. I know a lot of incredible people that are lending, and they care and they want to see you get loans. I know that for grants, we want to see you get grants. So there's misconception that we're going to judge you or judge your business or how you're conducting it, I think also leads to people just not showing up and not applying sometimes. But that is quite the opposite. People want to see you get that capital.
Thank you, Tanya. And now this one is for Beth and Natasha. With capital in hand, how do you balance rewarding yourself for your work versus reinvesting in your business? What are some healthy ways from not straying from the goal of financial freedom and just working yourself to the bone?
So I believe in investing in your business. In order for it to go, you have to pour money into it, right? So for me, I made a promise to myself that as I'm growing, I need to take more time for myself. So I'm all about self-care. I take four trips a year, each quarter, because I feel like I deserve it. You know, I put a lot of work into the business, into the growth of the business, and I love the fact that I have the opportunity to not only grow my business, but grow my people in my business, in the organization, and also give them opportunities to grow themselves. I'm a strong believer of, you can bring in good people and trust them so that I don't have to be in the office all day to help me run the business. So that's extremely important to me. So like I said, the self-care is also important. There has to be a balance between that work and personal life, and that's kind of how I handle that with my business.
I will say the last 3 years, my business has almost consumed me personally. A lot of my friends are wondering where I am. You know, I keep refusing things, and I'm at the point, I was reaching a point of burnout where I realized I had to prioritize myself. So I've made a commitment to more regular exercise, because the days that I do it, we all know, you feel better, but it does help me have a clearer head, and I'm looking to be very intentional about planning for some time off for myself, because I just keep putting my head down and going, and another 6 months, I'll do it, another 6 months. And yeah, you gotta take a breath, because if you're burnt out, your staff can feel it and your clients can feel it. So it's not selfish.
I love that. Great advice from all of you. And thank you to the audience for all the questions that you have been putting in. If we did not get to your question, we will follow up via an email with those answers, but please feel free to take a moment to scan that code and put your question in after. And thank you so much to the panel for answering those.
Thank you, Beth, Natasha, Tanya.
We have the results. I've known for 10 minutes and I haven't screamed yet, so. First and foremost, all 7 of you are fabulous, and we are so proud of you. And for those of you who did get this grant, come talk to us. For those of you who don't get this grant, come talk to us, because we're here for you. I'm literally having chills. I'm sorry. It's not very professional, but that's what I do. Okay, so I'm going to stop. I have it right here. Dr. Barbara Doon, you have been accepted. Anyway, Kiera, you got it. Okay, where's Tiger? Tiger got it too. Glenna Doyle, Rhodes Scholar. And Jenna Ridgie, you also got it. And again, for those of you who did not receive this, you are fabulous and you should feel really good about yourself. And if we had more money, we'd give it to you. So congratulations to everybody.
Wow, thank you, Carol. One more round of applause for our amazing women. What a special day. I hope this inspired you to go out there and grow that business and come talk to us about how we can help you grow. And on the back of your program here, connect with your legislators. One more QR code. If you don't know who they are, click here, put in your address, and it tells you who they are. And you can go find them and talk to them. One more QR code on the screen. We'd love to get your feedback from today's event, particularly since this is the first time we've incorporated the pitch contest in it. So please go ahead and click on that, put your camera up, click on it, and give us your feedback. So thank you, everyone, for attending today and continue to support WBDC and women-owned businesses. We'll see you next year.